In this video, we're going to solve the equation floor of x plus pi equals pi times x. So the floor of r equals n, which is a number. That means that r is between n and n plus 1, and it can equal n. That's if r is an integer. Okay. So let's assume that the floor of x plus pi equals n, which means that we have that n is greater than or equal to x plus pi less than n plus 1. And then we can subtract pi on both sides, leaving us with x is less than or equal to n minus pi less than n minus pi plus 1. The original equation, so we have that the floor of x plus pi equals n. That tells us that n equals pi times x, just substituting the floor into for n. That means that x is n over pi. So that's what form x is in. But now we have an inequality with x, right? So we can plug this in for that x, leaving us with n over pi greater than or equal to n minus pi less than n minus pi plus 1. Now we can multiply pi on both sides because pi is bigger than 0. So we have n greater than or equal to n pi minus pi squared less than n pi minus pi squared and then plus pi. Okay. Now we're going to subtract n pi on both sides. So we have to subtract it for every part of the inequality. That'll leave us with negative pi squared is greater than or equal to. So let's factor out an n here. So that would be 1 minus pi times n. But you can write that as negative 1 times pi minus 1 times n less than negative pi squared plus pi. Now we're going to multiply by negative 1. So that will flip the whole inequality. So we're going to have, in the center, we're going to have pi minus 1 times n. On the left-hand side, we'll have, now it's greater than, so this will flip, and it'll go to the left-hand side, so that'll be pi squared minus pi, okay? And then this will be less than or equal to, this will flip to the right-hand side, but it'll be negative, so it'll be pi squared. Okay. So now we can divide by pi minus 1 because it's positive, so we have pi squared over pi minus 1. Greater than pi squared minus pi over pi minus 1. Okay. So now we're going to repeat that. So that would be, so right here we can factor a pi minus 1 out, or a pi out, leaving us with pi times pi minus 1 over pi minus 1 less than or equal to pi squared over pi minus 1. Okay. These will cancel because it's not equal to 0. So this will be, n will be greater than pi, but it'll be less than or equal to pi squared over pi minus 1. And this is less than 5, and this is obviously pi, so this is 3.14, etc. That means that n has to be 4, okay? Which also means if we plug in n equals 4 now, we get that x is 4 over pi. And that is the answer to the equation, and that's the end of the video. Hope you liked it.